This video is for class 11th. The chapter is biological classification, and in which you will study the topic kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista includes eukaryotic organisms, and these eukaryotic organisms having well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. And in this kingdom, the groups like chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, some slime molds, and protozoans are kept in this kingdom. Protists reproduce sexually and asexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. So this is these are the characteristics of kingdom Protista. And the next you will see this includes chrysophytes. In the first section, the chrysophytes are there. This group includes diatoms and golden algae found in fresh water as well as marine environment. In diatoms, the cell wall is made up of thin overlapping cells embedded in silica. So, due to the deposition of silica, the cell wall in these diatoms are indestructible because they are not destroyed because they have silica around the cell wall. Diatoms have left behind large amount of cell wall deposits in their habitat, and over a time these left over there in millions of years. The large amount of diatoms cell wall is deposited over there, and that is called diatomeous earth. Most of them are photosynthetic and are the chief producers in the oceans, and their cell wall is used to polish the surfaces and also for filtering some oils and syrups. So they can be used in filter the oils and syrups and also for polishing the surface. And the next section you will see these are the diagrams of this is a diatom diagram of diatom. You see there deposit of silica is over there, and this is diatom. It is included in the chrysophytes. And now see, next is dinoflagellates are there. See the dinoflagellates. The next class is dinoflagellates. This is it. Characteristics of dinoflagellates. Next group of chrysophytes in kingdom Protista, and next class is dinoflagellates. They are mostly marine and photosynthetic. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on their surface. They are yellow, green, brown, blue, or red according to the pigment present in their cell. Most of them have two flagella, that's why they are called dinoflagellates. One lie longitudinally and the other transversely in their furrows between the wall plates. Red dinoflagellates undergo such rapid multiplication that they make the sea appear red. So this is also called red tides in the sea. And the example is ganolex. You see the structure of ganolex there. They are of different colors also. Here dinoflagellates. See, this is the structure of dinoflagellate, ganolex, and they are of different colors also according to their pigment in the cell. These are maybe red or of different colors. They also cause bioluminescence because they emit light during night and they appear different colors. So these are dinoflagellates. And now the next class is euglenoid. Here we will study euglenoid. After this dinoflagellate. So characteristics of euglenoid you will see in the next section. See here. These are the characteristics of euglenoid. Majority of euglenoid are freshwater organisms. They have a protein-rich layer called pellicle, which makes their body flexible. They have two flagella, a short and a long one. They are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight. When deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs because whenever light is available, they synthesize their food, and when light is not available, they become heterotrophic like other organisms. So they are also the link between plants and animals. Yeah, they are autotrophic and heterotrophic both. So the example is Euglena. So these are the characteristics of euglenoid. Now see euglenoid. The structure is also euglena is there. Majority of them are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of cell wall, they have protein-rich layer that is called pellicle. Flexibility of the bodies by this layer. They have two flagella, a short and a long. Though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight means when there is no sunlight, they become heterotrophic. The pigment of euglenoid are identical to the presence of higher plants, means they are having chlorophyll in their cell so that they can synthesize their food in the presence of sunlight. Now the next class is slime molds. Slime molds are saprophytic protists. They grow under decaying decomposed matter. Under suitable conditions, they form a aggregation called plasmodium, and during unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiate and form fruiting bodies bearing spores at their tips. The spores possess two walls and they are extremely resistant and survive for many years. So the structure of slime molds you will see in the next section. These are the slime molds. See the structure of slime molds. Here you see the structure of slime molds. This is also slime mold. These are aggregations around the twin. They engulf the twin, decompose it, and takes their take their food from there, decaying the decomposed matter. So these are the slime molds. In the next section, you will see the protozoans. They are also kept in kingdom Protista. Protozoans. They are unicellular organisms, eukaryotic. They are also called animal protists. All protozoans are heterotrophic. They feed on the other organism to obtain nutrition. There are also parasitic protozoans which live in a cell of larger organisms. Most of the members do not have a predefined shape. They can change their shape. For instance, an amoeba that can change its shape continuously, but a paramecium has a definite slipper-like shape. Like as all cannot change their shapes. The most well-known example of protozoans are amoeba, paramecium, sporozoa, and euglena. So these are the types of protozoans. We will study here about them also. So the protozoans are divided into some groups like amoeboid protozoan, mostly found in water bodies, either freshwater or saline. They have pseudopodia, false feet, which are used in locomotion and also to obtain food. In capturing food and engulfing food, example is amoeba. Flagellated protozoans, as the name suggests, the members of this group have flagella, the thread-like whip-like structure they have on their body. They can be free living are as well as parasitic. Example is Euglena. And next group is ciliated protozoans. They have cilia all over the body. Hair-like structures, cilia are present all over the body, which help in locomotion as well as nutrition. Because the movement of cilia also help to capture the food and collecting food from around. They are always aquatic. And the example is Paramecium, has cilia all over the body. And the next class is sporozoans. These organisms are also called because their life cycle has a spore-like stage. For example, the malaria parasite Plasmodium. Sporozoans are also there. So these are the classes or groups of some protozoans. You see in the next section the examples of different protozoans. See, this is the amoeboid protozoan. Amoeba is there. It is found in fresh water, sea water, moist soil. They move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia, false feet, as in amoeba. Marine forms have silica cells on their surface. Some of them, such as ant amoeba, are parasites that is found in intestine. Ant amoeba. In the next section, you will see this is the structure of amoeba, amoeboid protozoans, and this is next group, next class, flagellated protozoans. This is Trypanosoma that is shown in the figure. The members of this group are either free living or parasitic. They have flagella. See the flagella. The parasitic form cause disease such as sleeping sickness. And the example is Trypanosoma. See the structure of this parasite form of flagellated protozoans. So this is a Trypanosoma gamians, the example of flagellated. Next group is sporozoans. Those having spores in their life cycle. The Plasmodium is example of sporozoans. See this, the structure of sporozoan.